Warning, this video may contain very graphic images and dark themes. Be prepared before you watch it, because we are stepping back into the world of plastic, the original sin. If you are lost in the sauce and you don't even know what plastic is, go check out my plastic playlist, then come back and catch up. Now, let us begin with a quick flashback into the childhood of Edwin. You see, Edwin had his own hobbies. He liked to collect things. And just like that, he got this habit from his own mother. She loved dolls. She had a massive collections of them. Edwin, however, found this very creepy. He wasn't a fan of them, especially because they were just too many. He couldn't remember their names, but he could tell his mother loved them dearly. So he still tried his best. But one day she noticed what's wrong, and he finally told her, "I'm sorry, Mom, I can't remember their names." And she said, "It's fine. Name them whatever you feel like." That is when he started to name them. And that is the hobby he's keeping to this day. Everybody has distinctive traits. And the first doll he marked had creepy eyes. Now, fast forward a little more decades into the future, and we see that the news was covering a story of a head without a body and a simple note that said, "Cat kicker." For those of you who don't know, check out the previous video, because this was obviously his work. When they asked him for his opinion, he made it clear that maybe the guy just disturbed the wrong cat. But honestly, his main focus was on the guy that was stealing biscuits. Remember, I told you, the eyes of a cereal are sharp. They notice the most minute things. Anyways, Booker made a comment that maybe the killer should be keeping the heads as well. And Edwin made a note of that. That wasn't a bad idea. But suddenly the door flew open. Someone walked in. She walked in so gracefully, Booker noticed. You see, Booker was blind. The only thing he could tell about people was the way they walk, and her walk was intoxicating. He couldn't help but be impressed, and Edwin noticed. He asked him, "Hey, why don't you just go talk to her?" But he didn't want to. He felt like he was damaged goods. But Edwin didn't believe that. He saw the best in people, and he tried to explain to him that, "Bruh, you are not as bad as you think. There is a lid for every container." Later that night, though, Edwin was not the forgiving type. He tracked down the biscuit thief, and he took his head in the most gruesome way possible. I'm not allowed to show it on YouTube, but I'm sure you guys get the picture, because every time he does his deed, he comes back home singing a song, and he goes straight for his mother's own skull. But this time, she was having a guest over, a biscuit thief. And honestly, right now, he wanted some biscuits himself, and her biscuits were good. He wasn't even surprised that people tried to steal it, but the crumbs that remained reminded him of his childhood. You see, one day, when he was alone at home, his mother called to him because she had noticed he had been an exceptionally good son. He didn't have the best. She wasn't making that much, but he found a way to be happy. So she decided to give him a gift. "Look at my collection, son. I'm going to allow you to pick one doll that will be yours to take care of and treat right. So it's up to you." And he looked, because she had a lot, and he named most of them. From creepy eyes to cheeks to hair to baby hat to forehead to bitey. He knew all of them, but there was one that stood out above the rest, and she was his precious. His mother was honestly shocked he chose her, because honestly, that was her first doll to begin with. She started all this. This was Virginia. I know, shocking. He was so entranced by this doll, he just said, "Thank you, I would treat her right." Taking her to see his other friend, the dead corpse of the bird he was keeping, feeding crumbs from his own dinner table, asking her to keep it a secret. The bird was dead. Matter of fact, it was rotten. But he didn't care. It seemed like the concept of death was not very clear for him. But more on that later, because right now in the future, the pretty girl didn't have enough money to pay. Matter of fact, she just ate as much as she could, and she didn't have enough to clear the bill. But right now, someone knew she owed money. It was Booker. You see, She was the daughter of the owner of this freaking diner. He could tell when people owed money. He asked her how much was left, and she made it clear, $1.37. He fished around in his pocket and he found it. He was comfortable with paying it off for her, but from the corner of his eye, someone came in laughing. $1.37. What the hell do you plan to buy with that? He didn't even need eyes to realize these people were a problem. They stood out too much. He made a comment, yeah, I'm just helping a friend. You guys don't seem like you're supposed to be here. Do you mind leaving this diner? But this guy took that as disrespect. Boy, do you think I wouldn't beat the shit out of a blind kid? You don't know me. Edwin, however, didn't give a damn. He grabbed his arm, pulling it to his face, and he said in simple words, let go of Booker. Because like I said, the eyes of a serial can see a lot, and he could tell this guy was a dickhead. He had seen his type before, remembering back to when he was younger and his mother tried to introduce him to her current boyfriend. He could tell on first glance this guy was a prick. It was so bad he didn't even want to be in his presence. So he asked his mother, may I go outside and play? And she said of course. When he went out, he went to find his crew, got his favorite toy gun and his spork, and he watched because he knew it was only a matter of time before this prick does something he would regret and he would have to fix. So for now, he was going to watch. He was going to watch him very closely because like the other heads he had named, he already had a name for this guy in his head. He was a scumbag.